Tamara Bucio is a 19 years old Mexican girl. She has olive brown skin and black small eyes. She has thick lips and is of tan complexion. If I had to describe her personality, I would definitely use the words explosive, daring, risky, open-minded, independent. She had an angel in her that meant that you couldn't pay attention to anyone but her, and was always willing to help if you need her. For some, that explosive personality was enough to be considered arrogant, but for me, that was what made her really lovely, because I always consider her the kind of person who is easy to love. Tamara, she is my best friend, and she has been missing for 15 months, and nobody knows where or with whom she could be. I was traveling from Mexico to the United States and leaving my life to start a new one. It was a very painful process for me. So, my older sister sent me a message saying that the person who has with me in the good and bad times, the only person who has with me supporting me at my brother's funeral, the person who told me how to say no, and the person with whom I spent the best years of my life had simply disappeared. That news just killed me. But there was something worse than that, and it was the fear that grew inside me. Nobody knew anything. No friend, no neighbor, no family member, anyone had any clue that could help to find her. And that gave rise to the possibility. In Mexico, in my city, every time a woman disappears, it is because someone sexually abused her, and to avoid jail, he simply kills her, or for an assault, or is used to prostitute her in the traffic of women, or by organ trafficking. She could be the target of any depraver who shoots her for being an easy target, or because she was in the wrong place and at the wrong time, and look at something she should never have seen, and nobody can do anything because if they discover that he or she can talk about that, she could never be she could be the next to disappear. And today, in Mexico in general, they only pay attention to cases in which there is social pressure because, if that is known, do not doubt that they will never find their sister or their mother or their girlfriend or their friend. In the case of Ingrid, a girl who was murdered by her husband just for a fight, and apparently that was enough for him to skin her and throw her organs through the streets of Mexico City. The case caused great outrage to everyone, and that is why the police were pressured to find her culprit. To find the culprit. Another case that also caused outrage was the case of Fatima, a pure little girl of only 7 years old, and who was sexually abused and killed. To finally find her body in a bath as if it were garbage. The President of Mexico seems like a joke to minimize the cases of hundreds of people who die every day, and everything to satisfy his own interests, in addition to the new laws are made to protect criminals. Because, if in case of going through a situation similar, if you defend yourself and hurt the aggressor, you will go to prison for hurting a pure victim of poverty and its surroundings. This reached the point where not even a police officer can use violence against them, because they will be harming their human rights. And this only tells the Mexican people not to put their hands and allow someone to assault him with a firearm or a wet weapon, touch parts of his body without consent. Then you see how they are raping or killing at someone, and you cannot do or say anything. Just, just wait for a patrol that arrives too late. And if you decide to help and save the person, you will be targeted by people who dedicate themselves to that and disappear to. Just wait for a patrol that arrives too late. And if you decide to help and save the person, you will be targeted by people who dedicate themselves to that and disappear you to never know about you anymore. Or that the government determines that you are the bad guy and punish you. No woman, man, child, or baby is safe. You can only wait and pray that it's not you or someone you love in the unfortunate situation. And unfortunately, this is my case. I don't know what could be of her at the moment, and that is what is killing me in Nagosh. I fear that we cannot even find her body. Or because in another case where another family disappeared when they are trying to investigate about that, they could have happened or where they could find. They were threatened by the drug cartel that worked in that area because they were told not to get into things that did not suit them, or that nobody would hear from them again. And that was for all the families of disappeared at this time. People are upset, sad, and tired of this situation and march to give voice to all those women who cannot longer do so. They destroy and burn everything in search of the government not minimizing the fact that dozens of people are dying daily. And